Okay, let's talk about it. You're moving to a new state and you don't know all the hidden fees that you're going to have to pay. Okay, now they're not going to be hidden for long, they will be disclosed to you very soon. However, let's talk about them. Okay, so I get people coming to me and they say, hey, I have two dogs or two cats where I live now, or say in Florida, and I want to bring my pets with me, but I'm going to be renting there first. Okay. So a lot of people rent before they buy, and I get that. So as a realtor, I'm able to assist with renting and buying. So for those that have pets, some places have a pet limit. Most are two. Some places have an animal limit. So, you can't have like 12 emotional support animals. And then you obviously want to get the certificates for those, because having that ESA certificate is going to save you from monthly pet rent, pet deposits, and non-refundable whatever fees they have associated with your animals being listed as a pet. Okay. And then let's also talk about CAM fees, and that's like the community administration fees for the property. Okay, so that could be for the cameras, that could be for security that's going to be patrolling, or any of that. So there are fees for that, and then some even charge maintenance fees. Okay, of course you would think, why isn't that all included in the rent? I know, right? So they have fees that are added to your rent. And then also, even though there's no longer rent tax in the state of Arizona, I've seen it listed as a rental fee. I've seen it listed as a property fee, as a maintenance fee. So the state of Arizona just passed a law that this January 1st, 2025, they proposed that there will be no more rent tax passed along to renters. Okay, so sometimes it can be moved around in other areas, but just be aware, be mindful of the fees. Now, you can't always get the fees waived. You can ask. Sometimes the fees, I have seen them be negotiable. It doesn't hurt to ask. And then also, don't forget your utilities. Where you live now, you may have your utilities rolled into your rent. So your trash, your water, your sewer, all of that will likely be separate. So with your trash, your water, your sewer, a lot of times they base the water on your usage. So it may fluctuate every month. So that may not be a fixed rate for your water. Okay. And then also another thing that you want to think about is the internet media package. I've seen some places mandate that you sign up for their package. So by that, it is just sometimes I've seen it $70, $80, $60, $90. It just varies. So they make you sign up for their package. So you're going to have to use it. If you don't use it, you have it. And then also your electricity. Okay. Now we have two electric companies here in the state of Arizona, APS and SRP. And from what I've seen, most people prefer one over the other. However, depends on where you're coming from. If you're already local, you possibly may have an account. But also keep in mind, if you have past due electric bills coming from where you are that are posted on your credit report, that's with a third party collector, it's a possible chance they're going to make you pay that off, because they don't want you coming in the door with owing another company, a balance, okay, for your for utilities, okay. And also, if you are coming and you owe a property money, keep in mind there are some places that I, as a realtor, can help you get into, but you're not going to really have the option to be really picky, because some of those places will take a lot of people. Okay, when I say a lot of people, just read between the lines. Okay, due to fair housing laws, I can't say what that's going to be. So your best bet is to try to pay that eviction. Not only get it on a payment plan, because I have people say, well, can I put it on a payment plan? Sometimes people put it on a payment plan and the next property will take it, and then guess what? 2 months down the road, you no longer are paying that. So they feel like you'll do them the same way. So, and another thing um, I get is that people file bankruptcy and they roll their rent into the bankruptcy. So, and then they say, well, I've filed it and it's been included in the bankruptcy. Keep in mind, there are some properties that still will not work with that balance because the eviction or the rental judgment was within a certain amount, a certain time frame. So just because it's discharged in the bankruptcy does not mean that it won't be viewed as a negative, okay, for you, okay? Another thing that I would like to talk about is roommates, okay? Roommates and co-signers, okay? So many people are in roommate situations, and I get it these days. Everything is high. It's difficult to make it without a roommate, okay? So if your roommate is not footing the bill, keep in mind they will likely evict you. And if your roommate doesn't pay their part, you're responsible for their part, okay? So that's something you want to consider. If you have roommate situation, don't think that that's going away because you're going to a new place. Hey, I paid my part, the roommate didn't pay theirs, but it all is looked at as yours, okay? So keep that in mind because that balance is going to be yours, even though you all signed a lease together, okay? And I guess the last thing that I guess I want to talk about is people getting fined, I guess, or whatever I want to say. I had somebody, it only happened like a couple times, okay? So they had some calls, and I guess they had to call the authorities, the police and whatnot, had to come in. And believe it or not, when that next property called for a rental verification, that property manager of the previous place they lived did not give them a positive rental verification. So I had someone get denied over a situation I guess they encountered. So I guess they end up getting a charge, a misdemeanor or whatever. So keep in mind the way you talk to the people, the office people, whatever. Try to be cool with those people. Pay your rent, try to live civilly, come home, go to work, live a peaceful life. I know sometimes people aren't at a place that's, that they want to be in. So, I've had people get charges for kids because, hey, your kid pushed my kid off the bike. So they go out there and yell at the parent, this, that. So now they have a charge. They pushed somebody or they pushed something on the property. Now they have a criminal damage charge. I'm telling you, I see and hear it all, okay? So just be mindful, be careful, and those things do matter. However, if you decide you want to buy a house, okay, and obviously none of that matters as far as your criminal background. So people are asking me, hey, I got felonies, I got this, that, or that. Does that matter if I'm buying a house? So they don't always look at that. However, keep in mind, if you're a part of like Nextdoor or what's the other app? Any of the Facebook groups or apps and all of that, you will see if a person's a sex offender or this or that. That is public information. However, I see anytime somebody buys a house in a neighborhood, boom, they post it in the group, and that person's name and picture, they pull the public record, it's plastered all over. So, but I think everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt. So, but those are just some things that I see, hear, and observe in my industry, okay? So if you are planning a relocation to Arizona, I am your AZ Relo plug. If you're already in Arizona, okay, you're here already, and you want me as your realtor. If you are looking for a rental, I am your realtor. If you are looking to buy, I am your realtor, okay? So I know right now, believe it or not, we're getting warmer. It's getting hotter, and people are moving here because of the heat, okay? So depending on where you're at, there are some people that were like, you know what, after last winter, I don't want to be in Milwaukee. I don't want to be in Chicago. I don't want to be in Detroit. Whatever the case is, people are deciding to make a change, okay? And you deserve that, okay? So many people come to me and they're leaving a relationship, okay? You wouldn't believe how many people leave relationships and they're looking for a fresh start. We all deserve a fresh start. Been there, done that, okay? Wrote the book, got a t-shirt, okay? So if you are looking for your fresh start, I am your AZ Reload plug. Now, people reach out to me and say, hey, do you have any jobs? So I'm not a recruiter, so I don't have jobs for you. However, if you are looking at certain industries, I may be able to give you some referrals. However, I would say do your research on what you want to do, because a lot of entrepreneurs are coming out here, okay? So I would say if you bake, if you cook, if you sew, if you create, if you do anything that can get you some income, definitely this is the place. This is the hub for entrepreneurship. And I would say a lot of entrepreneurs work together here, because you never know. I see a lot of bartering going on in the community, okay? Because right now it costs me a couple $100s to get my locks retied. So if I was a baker and somebody said, hey, my kid's birthday is coming up, or this, that, or that, so hey, I may exchange services for, you know, that. So it just all depends. So most people that are here, they're either transplants or they're transients. They're just here until their next opportunity comes up. You know, that's what people are coming here for, okay? So reach out to me today if you're planning your move, okay? You're, like I said, locally, or if you're coming here, reach out to me today. I'm your AZ Reload plug. You can call me 888-765-RELOAD, but if you want to book a consultation, get on my website, yourazreloadplug.com, and book your consultation. I get a lot people asking me lots of serious questions, and I don't get into a lot of that here. Sometimes it can get deep and personal, and if you want to have a conversation, let's talk about it, okay? I would be more than happy to break some things down for you if you have specific questions that, you know, you really want me to get into. I would totally love to help you to hash some of that stuff out, okay? So, because sometimes people think they know what they want, but they really don't know what they want. They just need to hear someone's, you know, like an unbiased ear, because I'm not your family. I'm not your friends. I'm not anyone that sees and listens to you every day. So it's totally going to be unbiased, non-judgment, no judgment zone here. So most definitely reach out to me, and I cannot wait to hear from you.